Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Awakening with Lindley Rose. I am here in Paris, France. I've been here for about a week and a half, and I wanted to share a little bit about my reflections in this conversation I'm having with my good friend Jessica Ruger, coach, author, guide, amazing human being. And we are such generators, with human design type of a generator, where I really do best when I'm responding. And when I come up with videos and ideas and things on my own, it's just not the same. And so I love having conversations with people where we can ask each other questions and get real insights and answers in real time. So that's what this is going to be. So thank you for joining me, Jessica.
You're welcome. I mean, as a generator, also with sacral authority, I totally hear you and I'm happy to be of service.
Yes, you get it. We get each other.
We had such an extraordinary time together before you left. It was so beautiful and spontaneous. And we sat right here on this porch. You stayed with me for 2 nights before you left, and it just was so extraordinary. And I'm just so curious, like, how has it been since you landed? I know there was so much energy about what you were expecting, and there was a lot of thoughts about what you wanted to do and what you didn't want to do. So I just love to hear, like, how's it going?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you. And I just thank you for also just bringing the energy, centering, helping me center in because I'm a little excited. There's a lot going on and it really helps me to get present with you, with myself, just being in this moment, just taking a breath and coming into myself. And yeah, it's really interesting because right before I came to Paris last summer, we also spent a few days together, didn't we?
Yes, that's right. You were, yes. That's
Just
wild.
realizing this. Yeah, so it's almost like deja vu because here we are again. And you're asking me, how is Paris? And we had a podcast episode of like in this fashion, last summer that we
Of
did.
course we did. That's awesome.
Okay. So yeah, what's happened? So I went home, I had the summer and then there were 3 months at home. You can't stay longer than 3 months in Europe. And then I came back January 11th, I arrived. Just for anyone listening who wants to know the story, on a long-term tourist visa. And I moved into an apartment that I'm renting. And so as I moved in, and this is my first permanent, well, temporary permanent place that I've lived for the past 3 months. Well, actually, the past 6 months, because I actually moved out of my house 6 months ago in the Charleston area. And all my stuff is in storage. And then I've just been house sitting and pet sitting ever since. So it's a very new feeling to come into my own apartment with no pets. There's no animals here. I keep looking for the cat or the dog. And it's like, no, it's just me. So, and then also my kids. My kids aren't here. So it's like, where are the kids? Where are the pets? It's just me. And yeah, so let me take you from the plane. So I got on the plane and I felt like coming home. I felt like I was coming home. I just can't even describe it. It just felt like I'm going home. Here I am. I made it. I made it home. And just something about Paris felt so in alignment, so right. And ever since being here, it's felt that way. It's just constant validation, reassurance, like, yes, I'm supposed to be here. And I look around and I can't believe this feeling. I've never felt this actually, to feel so like I'm living the life I'm meant to live in a big way. It's really amazing. So I had my friend pick me up, who I met last summer, and he drove me here. And came in to this apartment and just fell in love. It's a great apartment. I love it. And he took me shopping and we got some food and walked around the neighborhood, came back and and then I wasn't going to see him for another week because he was really busy with work. I have a few other friends here that I met over the summer, and I was going to be meeting more friends. I already had an event planned before I arrived. I arranged to go to a meetup, an English-speaking comedy club downtown by Notre Dame. And so I was going to be fine. I had things to do. I knew I was going to meet people. I'm creating a life, creating my social group, everything. It's like when you move to any town, that's the feeling. Just slowly but surely, I'm getting to know everything. So I'm taking my time and I've been getting to know the neighborhood, the bakeries, just doing my shopping, that kind of thing. It hasn't been like you were saying, like in 10 days, usually people are going home after this time. And for me, I haven't done any tourist things really. I haven't felt like a tourist at all. It's really just been getting to know my new home.
Me about like where are you going for coffee or what's your favorite spots already? Tell me about your neighborhood.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, there've been, I mean, some surprising things. So I'm really just staying open and being curious about everything that comes up. So my first main have been going for runs because it's a small apartment. I really need to get out and, so I don't feel like closed in and claustrophobic. I need to get out and run. So I've been going for these runs in my neighborhood. And my neighborhood is kind of on the outskirts of Paris. It's really not in the middle, but there's a lot of dog poop and gross things on the sidewalk
You got to
that
be very present.
you wouldn't really think. Yeah, when you're thinking about Paris, it seems so beautiful and perfect. There's so much magic. But my neighborhood it's really just it's not the beauty that you would think in on the sidewalks. Like they don't really take care of their sidewalks very well here. So I'm running along these streets, not in the middle of Paris, feeling like I'm in just totally in the city. I'm not in the tourist area at all. It's really just what does it feel like to live here? And I'm asking those questions like, what are the people like? How are they living? What's the vibe? I'm always tuning into the people around me. So I'm like connecting with the consciousness, the overall like consciousness of energy of each city, right? Charleston has a very different energy than Paris. Even this neighborhood, every neighborhood has a different energy, right? Just like every city has a different energy and suburbs. And so a lot of what my experience has been is connecting with and just noticing the energy. And honestly, there's a lot of lower vibrations happening in this neighborhood. I see the kids, I see them with their parents. I think it's the culture, but also there are not a lot of expressions of joy and happiness that you see. A lot of people are like straight faced, serious, and the kids are too. And the way that the parents talk to the kids, just that I've noticed so far, is it's just like a very serious vibe. And it actually makes me a little sad for the kids. I wouldn't want to raise my kids here because there's just not a lot of joy and happiness. And I know it's winter and I know it's cold and there's a lot of gray. There's just not a lot of sunshine. It's just very different than Charleston. Charleston is very sunny. And then you have the beach and the openness and the expansiveness. And Paris has the river, but in the middle of the city, there's not a ton of openness. There's a lot of buildings. and there's a lot of shade, and there's not a lot of sun. And so I'm just tuning into the happiness levels of the people and how they feel inside. It's just something that I do everywhere I go. I'm just always noticing, like, how are people feeling about their lives? And the general vibe where I'm at is people are not really happy, but they've learned how to make it work. Yeah.
What an awareness to be observing that. And, I know you very well and can imagine what your vibe can bring. Like how just being present with yourself, looking out for dog poop, and how you can contribute to the field.
So
And maybe you're right where you are, just to bring that energy up with your daily run, getting to see the same faces. And this, if you go at a certain time every day, you're going to see oftentimes the same people. And, I just imagine you going, and what a beautiful way to get to know the community by getting up and going for a run and
yeah.
notice the rhythm and the timing of things. And yeah, children on their way to school with their parents, being stern with them
Mhm.
is an experience.
Yeah, that is exactly the perfect segue into this other issue that's been coming up for me, which is because I've always been so aware of my surroundings ever since I was a kid, that led me to feel very self-conscious. And that caused extreme social anxiety for me when I was a preteen, teen, young adult, where I would turn bright red having conversations. I couldn't actually focus on the people I was talking to because I was so focused on how they would perceive me and just tuning into everyone around me and not really being in myself. So my challenge has always been I'm so all over the place with everyone else, noticing that I don't know how to be me in the past. And so my journey has been a process of learning what my energy is. And that's what my whole path has been, is connecting with my energy. And when I started to meet myself and know what it's like, know what my energy is like, getting to know myself in that intimate, deep way. And then I started loving being by myself because there was no one around to disturb my energy. But then also, I need to have practice being around other people in being in myself and noticing them and not letting go of my own presence and my own self in that. That's been my process.
Staying with you. Yeah, staying with yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that really has been a challenge. So as I'm moving through and I'm just noticing everyone around me, several things come up. First of all, this is just what comes up automatically in my head. Okay. Because we all have our automatic stuff. And then we get to look at it and then decide what we're going to do with it. So my automatic is my past program, whatever it is contributing to this, is don't stand out. It's a voice that says, don't let them know that you're an American and that you're not from here. You got to blend in, you got to hide, right? Be like them so they don't see how you're different. Okay, that's just what comes up in my mind as I'm connecting with that right now. So I'm on the metro or I'm walking on the street and I find myself straight face, not make eye contact, or if I do, it will be with this almost like serious, like cool face that I'm putting on. And I'm
Show us.
really,
Show us that face
it's like, I don't know, I
of
can't
the
do it.
mirror.
Yeah. And it's like, definitely don't smile and definitely don't smile at other people or by yourself, or don't look up at something and take a picture, right? Don't stand in the middle of some place. And I've heard so much about the Parisians not liking tourists because I'm sure they're tired of them. And then it's really because there are some that are very loud and annoying to them. And so they have this image of tourists, and I just don't like being judged as a tourist and have this negative perception of me. I want to be seen for me. And so there's this part of me that's like, try to blend in. But then as I was leaving today, I was taking a little video, which I'm trying to document what's really coming up for me in the mirror as I'm leaving. And I'm just going, okay, I got my big jacket on, got my hood. I want to hide today. I don't want to blend in. And I was about to walk out the door. And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can make a different choice. What if what if it's okay for me to be me? And actually, what if this whole thing is so ridiculous, trying to blend in because I don't blend in, because I never will blend in, because I'm the only one with red hair. Like, so physically, I look completely different here. Of course, that's going to give it away right there that I'm a tourist or I'm an American. I just don't look like the people here. Dark hair, black
Or
coat.
Irish, or maybe you're Irish or Scottish.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, like so
Sure.
completely different, just like I felt when I was living in Brazil, just like I felt when I was living in Mexico and Spain, completely different than the people. They all had dark hair and I stood out. So even in the US, I felt like I stand out. I come to these countries, here I am with this voice in my head saying to fit in and blend in. Don't let them see you. And what's that doing? That's causing me to contract, to tighten, to get small, to suppress my light, my smile, my natural joy that's coming out. I'm always looking around at people like naturally and noticing who is looking, also looking around, wanting to connect with someone. And then when you make eye contact with someone who's present, that's a beautiful feeling. And you can have a moment and smile at each other. But because of this voice, I had been kind of just hiding and wanting to blend in.
Mm. Robbing everyone. I completely understand and I can hear like the avoidance of wanting of standing out, right? Just avoiding standing out. But what do you fear will happen? Like, were you able to look at that when you made that choice to do it differently today? Like, have you realized what that programmed way of being has been like protecting you from, perhaps?
I think it's that protective thing that's saying if people notice you, then you're gonna be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
It's not true anymore.
How liberating.
Yeah, this is the
You were
story's
made
still
to
there.
stand out. Like you were made the way that you were made, and you're beautiful, and you have such a gift of connecting and sharing your light. And it's part of what I make up that you're here to do is to share that light. And however anyone else receives it or perceives it, it's just their perception.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could touch the light of one person is ignited and 30 people don't see it or don't respond to it in a positive way, that one light
Well,
has such a chance of spreading more light.
yeah. Today I was thinking, well, what's so bad if I stand out? And what came up for me was they're going to judge me. They're going to think I'm a stupid tourist. They're going to have all these ideas of me. Like, why is she so happy? Actually, like, be mad at me because I'm happy. I, right? And maybe because like they're not or something, right? But then I was like, well, I don't even know what's in their head. that's just what I am fearing, that they're gonna have a negative judgment of me because I'm smiling. And then I realized as I was walking out the door how ridiculous it is to be afraid of someone having a judgment of me because I'm happy, and how it can only be a good thing, even if they don't like me. It can only be a good thing to be myself and let my true self be seen, just showing up as myself, just not suppressing all the time and trying to be serious and cool like I was trying to do. I don't know where that came from. It was just like this automatic thing. Just
Mhm.
protect, be like everyone else, don't stand out.
Yeah. Yeah, and how can they not like you if they don't even know you? It's like you guys are both were both playing this game of assumptions. You're assuming they're assuming, and it's like, which is just breeding what we want to put an end to as much as we possibly can, which is this division and disconnection. And, you
Yeah.
know,
They
your
don't
life.
even care. We don't care about each other. If it's a random person on the metro, is everyone walking around wondering if they're being judged by the strangers on the street?
I think probably more than not.
Really?
I do. I think
Yeah.
insecurity and self-consciousness, that's part of the program. It's like, who am I to shine my light? I think it's more common than not.
Yeah. It may be something that my experience may be what someone else is also experiencing, why they are looking so serious and with this cool face, because they're trying to protect themselves too, because they don't want to stand out in a negative way and be judged. That it may be that a lot more people than I know are also dealing with the same thing and holding in their light. And
Mhm.
just imagine, this just came to me. What if everyone just dropped that mask? And how would, just say like one metro car, if everyone dropped their mask just for a moment, what would it look like? Would you see people smiling? Would you see people connecting? It's almost like uncomfortable for me to stand next to all these people on a metro, especially the crowded one that I just took home today. And no one's making eye contact and everyone's just looking down or looking up. It's like there's not even anything to look at. What are we looking at, guys? Why don't we look at each other and smile and say, hey, how was your day? It's like incredibly weird that people don't interact in those settings. They're so closed, but they're all these humans and we're all part of each other. And why are we not even communicating and being like, hey, how's your life going? We're all on this journey, guys. Like, let's just have fun and interact and like give like high fives, like, hey, you're doing awesome. Good job. Go get it. You know?
I agree. It's like this hypnotic rhythm takes place, and that's the way it is. And so no one wants to be the one. So it's the collective and it's the vibration. And so it's like this is such a great pivot for you that you're experiencing today because in your observation, you were blending into the energy that was there instead of affecting it. And that's, I think, what we do collectively, consciously, and in communities, and in in our own country versus other countries. It's just all these ways that we go with the status quo of whatever the environment is presenting.
Yeah, and it did feel like zombies. That was what came to mind is hypnotic
Mhm.
zombies. It's like when I first got here and was, doing my runs and walking around, it was a very eerie feeling because we're not naturally like that. That's a learned behavior.
Mhm.
And that's from lack of sunshine and freedom and love and all the kids that have to stay in these apartments, especially during COVID. I can't even imagine. And then they go to their school and then I mean, there's something cool about being in the city. There's so much to do. And I know people who grew up here and it's just really cool to, have access to so many events and so many people and so many places to hang out with your friends. And there's like so much amazing, experiences here. But there is also that hypnotic, robotic way of being on a daily basis that is not, it's just not what we're meant to be, I don't feel like as humans.
It's just like a virus, you know, it moves through cultures. And when I was 17, my boyfriend from Germany came to visit me, and we were walking downtown on a sidewalk in Battle Creek, Michigan. And my eyes met with another person's eyes, and we smiled and said hello. And then Christian looks at me and he's like, "Did you know her?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Why do you speak to her? You don't know her." It's just what you do. And he's like, "We don't do that."
Yeah, Germany was definitely very similar.
1987.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I thought it was
Just
crazy that I would actually speak to someone who was a complete stranger and smile at them on the street passing them by.
so would you be open to sharing that experience you had one time where you connected with this guy that you passed by?
Oh, sure.
That
Oh,
was
it's one of my
incredible.
favorite memories.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's talk about that for a sec. Yeah.
So I would go downtown. When my daughter was young, I was a single mom since she was like almost 3. And so when she would go with her dad every other weekend, I would go dancing with friends. And so I would go downtown Charleston and just like go to the clubs, like get ready at 9ish, out by 10. In those days, I'd probably have a glass of wine while I was getting ready. And then we would go downtown, and I'm with my friend Rachel, and there's this beautiful customs house. So we're on East Bay, walking past the customs house, about to cross Market on East Bay, and we go to this really great wine bar before we went dancing. And we were just walking and chatting, and then I saw this man who was walking and chatting with his friend, and he was on the other side of the street. So we were on this side of East Bay Crossing Market, and they were on that side of East Bay Crossing Market. And here we meet. We just were drawn to each other. We saw each other. I'd never seen this person before in my whole life. And I just felt like I don't even know how to explain it. It was just this desire came over me, and it was met by his desire, and we just approached each other and we made out right there standing in the street. He had a British accent. I do remember that. And we made a little greeting, but then we just went in and we just like made out, and it was extraordinary. It was sensational, and there was the most amazing thing next. We just like went on with our night. Like they did not, it wasn't like, "Let me get your number. What's your name?" It was none of that. It was just this moment where it was we were the only two that existed, and we were passionately kissing one another. And then when it ended, we just were like, wow, what just happened? And then they continued on and we continued on, and my friend and I were like, she's like, "Do you know him? Who is that? What?" And he was like so good looking. And we were just like unattached. And it was just this extraordinary experience that has only happened once like that in my whole life. And without, I've made out with other guys that I didn't know, but we would hang out and talk after or something, or
I
like
just,
on the dance
yeah.
floor. But this was just a very unique, incredible experience that I
Yeah.
love having the memory of.
I think back on this story when you told me, and I was like, I just can't believe that actually happened, where you're really just walking with your friend and then see a random guy that you've never met before. As you get closer, do you say hi? Does he say anything? How does it happen? Like you just fall into each other and just start kissing?
Yeah, the best way I can explain it was like a scene in a movie looking back on it, where it was just this magnetism that happened. And we just went with it. We didn't get in our head about it at all. We didn't make sense of it. It wasn't logical. It was just this experience where we were just completely drawn to one another. And like it was almost like we both met each other in that same energy, and it was undeniable. And
Amazing.
then we
Yeah.
left in the same energy of just like, that just happened. That's possible.
Incredible. This
Yeah.
is what I love. Yeah. So it's like being so open to the people around us that we will go and make out with them. No, just kidding. No, I'm not saying that that's what it should be all the time, but yeah, maybe sometimes.
But
Um,
when two open people come into connection and celebrate that and not get in our head and do what the status quo would do, or not think about what are other people going to think about me, what's he going to think about me, what's my friend going to think about. There was none of that. There was zero thought. It was
yeah,
all active dynamic.
I think it was the wine.
I don't remember being inebriated. Like it
Okay.
was earlier, but I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure it might have helped the that veil of what do they call that, where you're less
Yeah.
inhibited. But
Yeah.
I grew up very uninhibited.
Yeah.
I was a very uninhibited
I think we're
young
very
girl.
different that way. We're like opposites because I was so inhibited, completely self-conscious.
I wanted to stand out.
Mm,
I
yeah.
wanted to be popular. I wanted
Mhm. I
to,
did not.
yeah. In fact, when I was playing pickleball the other day, I went, I realized how much I've changed because I used to have this idea that I didn't care how good or bad I performed. I always wanted to perform well, but I was more invested in how I looked, whether I was winning or losing. And
Yeah.
so I go play pickleball, and it's an indoor thing, and I'm intentionally just like sweatpants, sweatshirt, pull back hair, my glasses on so I can see the ball on the other side of the net. I'm there to play pickleball. And I thought it was just going to be my friend and I, but then it's like all these more like 20 some other people join us. And I cared nothing about what I look like. I did, and I got complimented on my game.
Amazing.
Like,
I love that.
over and over, like, wow, you play really well. How long have you been playing? I'm like, I learned last year. Did you play tennis? I'm like, yeah, I know how to play tennis. They're like, oh, okay. But it was like, so yes, I didn't
Yeah.
need to stand out there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's the opposite side of the same coin, Lindley.
Mm,
Your your need to not stand out and my need to stand out, I think have a similar driving force.
yeah. What is it? What
I
is
think
that
it's
common
like
thread?
safety. I
Mm,
felt safe being seen. I felt safe being liked, being desired, being I felt it felt alive to me for people to like want to be in my energy, and me captivating their attention felt safe.
okay, can I share with you? This is
Yeah.
so interesting because I'm just thinking right now back to college, when guys would approach me and start talking to me and want to get my number or something, which happened occasionally, not all the time, because I was not giving out vibes of come and talk to me. I was so self-conscious, right? But then sometimes it would. I would feel so uncomfortable. I would turn like bright red and I would not know what to do. I would just want to like fall into the ground. So I did not want that to happen ever. I was so uncomfortable with my womanness. Just being a woman was awkward, embarrassing. I never actually felt like like in my 20s or like as a teen, like, becoming an adult, never felt connected to or good about or confident in my femininity, in the part of me that might be attractive to a man. It was just awkwardness and anxiety. And that's why I've been on such a powerful journey where I totally have transformed that. And it's been a huge part of my path.
But
It's
I
okay.
think it's cool that we are, coming into the truth of who we are. So allowing myself to be seen without total makeup and hair done, and I don't have a filter on this side of the Zoom call, like there's like it's just this it's maturing, and most evidently It's like we are coming to accept ourselves in whatever we're in, whether it's, accepting yourself that you were wanting to hide and not making that wrong. And
Hmm.
then naturally coming to, oh, I don't want to hide myself anymore today. I'm going to go out and I'm going to change my jacket and I'm not going to wear the coat with that covers me all the way up. And I'm, I'm going to let myself be seen and I'm going to move through because
Yeah.
either one is uncomfortable. Like, how comfortable were you really hiding and having the
Right.
thoughts that you were having versus how comfortable are you allowing yourself to be seen? They're
Yeah.
both uncomfortable, and one's gonna like support us into more of what is true, and one's going to prevent us from accessing more of what is true.
Well, it's interesting because I feel that when I am, maybe it's in spring or summer and I'm wearing a dress that I like and I have no problem being seen, I feel the best. I feel the best, right? That's when I feel the best because I'm not in my head. I'm just enjoying being me, and I can enjoy other people. It's not like a self-centered thing, you know? And I think I had a lot of conditioning around don't be self-centered. Don't, maybe that was also part of like me wanting to hide. I don't show off. I don't want to show off so that I don't want to be perceived as someone that's a show off. And so my the alternative was to hide. But now it's like, no, I get to be my brilliant, beautiful self and let my light shine. And that's okay. And even if maybe someone's uncomfortable, it's still okay because that's only reflecting their light too.
That's why there's a saying, misery loves company,
Yeah.
and it is, again, it's a collective consciousness. And if we adapt to that, where are we going? And Marianne Williamson has this famous quote where she's like, it's not failure that we're most afraid of. It's succeeding. It's like being able to be fully seen in our gifts and shining our light that we fear the most.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of shame in our culture, and it is passed down generation to generation. And like, look at like how people talk about the wealthy and the beautiful. And oh my God, if you're wealthy and beautiful, you are a target for huge populations of people who are going to make stories. Oh, she was probably born with money, or oh, she's
Mhm.
so, entitled or privileged or whatever. Like, we have to name it, we have to label it to justify why we're not what we are projecting onto them to be.
Yeah. We just, everyone has their challenges that we can't judge. And the people
Yeah,
that,
escape them either.
yeah. Oh gosh, there's so much here. I wanted to also share something about recognizing when something is not meant for us. When I got here, I wasn't sure how things were going to go with the guy that I had been dating. And I told him I didn't know where it was going to go. I'm really building a life here. I'm not on vacation. It's going to be different. I was also like kind of like I wanted him to know. I I wanted to be open to what was coming up, what was true in the moment, and not base anything on the past. Just really like, let's just look at like what's coming up, what's true, what direction do we feel like going? It became clear to me that he was not in the place that I wanted to have a relationship with a guy. And to just really be honest with myself about that was really important because then I was able to express it. And it just feels like it's one of those steps in the video game where it's like the next level. Are you going to stay with a person who is not right for you? Or are you going to move on to what is? And I passed the level. I was like, it's not. So let's just move on. And it felt like a really clean, easy, the texting conversation. And then also, like, for myself, energetically being able to move forward. Yeah, there's still things that come up for me and thinking about him and remembering and the memories. But I feel like it's the right thing. It's time to move on. So that was good for me.
I'm just learning this for the first time. So thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for honoring your truth and where you are now. And like we can celebrate that it happened. It's not bad or good or wrong or right. It's just like, wow, that was extraordinary. Like that kiss, but yours lasted longer, And it doesn't have to keep mimicking what it was. It gets to change forms and you get to have your feelings about it. Like, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. And I think the most challenging thing for me that I've noticed in the aftermath or the like the like after that happened is these my insecurities coming up. And as I'm walking down the street thinking, oh, he wasn't able to show up for me. And is that because there's something wrong with me? And so looking at the way that my inner critic is trying to get me, it's almost like he was asleep. I guess I see him as a guy, my inner critic, this little blob with a megaphone. Hey, you're not worthy. But it's like, yeah, the opponent, right? Yeah, it's it was asleep. I wasn't really dealing with it too much. And so I'm so grateful that these insecurities that were inside me are just coming up to be released even deeper and letting go and just getting to a more self-confidence and more connection with my true worth in a deeper way and really feeling that. But yeah, that those thoughts of, you don't look so good. And like as you're walking, like think about like how I look, thinking about like if you saw me now, da, 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 like all those things. So it's helped me to be in a state of awareness so I can just notice what's coming up and then choose to let it go and choose to put in the new story, the opposite. So I'll just tell you one thing that I did was the voice was saying, you are old and ugly. Okay, those two words. So the old and the ugly. And then I shifted it to I'm young and beautiful. And so I wrote that on a paper. I put that on my mirror. And if that's the reality, how would I feel? And so I'm defying that voice that's saying I'm old and ugly into I'm young and beautiful. And as I walk, even when those old stories come up, I shift into what if that's not true? What if the reality is I'm beautiful and everything's great and I am actually perfect however I look? I could have deformities in my face. I'm not talking about beautiful as in like having the perfect features. I'm really talking about my being is beautiful. And that comes from within. It's an inner knowing. It's not about the physical. So,
Yes, and it comes through in the thoughts that we're thinking can make the most beautiful person unattractive because of that energy that we're holding and buying into and allowing it to dictate who we're being within our own mind. And some of the most unattractive people visually can become the most extraordinary beautiful because it's the energy that animates us. And sometimes, there's inner beauty and outer beauty at the same time, and it's just like, it's
Yeah.
so amazing. But we are moving in and out of all these different states of being, and so like even our own reflection doesn't look the same from day to day
Yeah.
or hour to hour, and we can
Maybe.
see it. It's the
Yeah.
energy. Yeah, so powerful. Oh, what great reflection.
It's just such an inside job.
All the time. And it's so important because whatever we assume, whatever we buy into, we manifest it. Like we take that unbound potential and bind it into what we're making the assumption that it is. Whether it's about money, about a lover, about our value, our worthiness, our good enoughness, it's all a story that we're telling ourselves, and it's a spell that we cast on ourselves. And it's like we can stop it in every moment. We're a brand new being, and we don't have to carry forth any of those stories that we don't want to give energy to anymore, and let them continue to live through us and
Yeah.
spread that
Yes.
virus.
Right. Okay, so I just want to say thank you for holding the space for me to share and just talk through some of these things. It has been so helpful. You're so intuitive and so able to just really feel me and what I'm sharing, and then also to share your perspective on it and expand what's there is just, it's a great gift that you have. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to always spend time with you. Your energy is incredible, and I love my energy and your energy together. Like I was just thinking about it after you left, like how extraordinary it was to spend that time with you, and how much joy I can easily access in your company. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so just moving forward, how do I want to show up now? Now that I'm being held accountable because I'm having this conversation with you and sharing it with everyone else. It's not just in my head anymore, but really just, it's like there's still a part of me that's like, but don't show off. But don't show off. You're not supposed to show off. And it's like, no, okay, thank you, little part of me that just doesn't want to do anything that will be perceived in a negative way. But it's not about that. It's not about showing off. It's about letting the light within me be seen in a natural way, how I naturally want to be. It's about letting myself be. It's about stop suppressing and just be me in the world.
Yes. Capital S, capital M, me, capital S, self,
Yeah,
capital Y,
yeah,
you. Because it's letting the creator come through you without filtering it, without dumbing it down. It's letting your small self, egoic self, that was either in my case needing to be seen or in your case not wanting to be seen. That's the ego.
hmm,
But letting that go, like just it's not important. And
yeah.
letting the creative love and light unconditionally come through you. That's what I'm taking away from this conversation.
Ah, yes.
Who are we to stop it? That's
Yeah,
preventing ourselves and everyone else from experiencing more God.
yeah, yeah. I want everyone listening to this, whoever is listening, just take a moment and ask yourself, where are you blocking your light from being seen? In what ways are you staying small because you're afraid of being judged? And have compassion for that part. You can love that part. You can thank that part of you trying to protect you, But then also, it's time to let your light shine. It's time to be more of you without the shame. And just imagine if we all did that starting today, how that would shift things in the world.
What a vision to enroll everyone into.
Mm.
When we each liberate ourselves, it's like looking over, imagine looking over Paris from a satellite, like way up there over like Google Maps or something. And it's like the city is dark. And one person makes this decision to shine their light. And how you can just see, imagine lights going bing, 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 and lighting up the city. The city of love.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I want to share one last thing.
This red-headed American is gonna light up Paris.
Yeah. So this all comes full circle because growing up, my family had a family motto and a family scripture. And do you want to know what our family scripture was?
Yes.
Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
May that be the story. May that be the response to every time the opponent comes in.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Beautiful. And now you're embodying it.
Yes, yes. Paris, here I come.
And Paris, here I come. I can't wait to come and see you.
I know.
Dodge dog poop and do all
Yeah.
the untouristy things and eat lots of croissants.
Today, last thing, it was raining and I didn't realize it was going to be raining. So I went into a store and I bought an umbrella and I actually bought a rose umbrella. It had rose pattern. And I just saw it first and I was like, that's it. So I got the rose umbrella and I was like, maybe people, I always think people are looking at me. It's like I have this little audience, like they're making fun of me. I'm like, okay, maybe you think it's silly. It's like a rose. Like maybe this is a little overkill, rose, right? But it's like, but this is a fun game for me now. I'm finding the rose symbols everywhere I go. So I'm just gonna go with it. I got the rose umbrella. I walked out of the store. 2 seconds later, I see all these people holding up their phones. I turn and look, and there's this huge rainbow in the sky. And I got a picture of it with my rose umbrella that I just bought and this rainbow. And rainbows to me are our sign of angels, a sign of I'm on the right path. And it was just such a magical experience in that moment. So I'll just leave with that.
I just want to say that happened today when you made a decision. The
Yeah.
sign followed
Yeah.
your you caused a new effect.
Mm.
I love it so
Yeah.
much.
So magical. Okay, so we can all do that. Every single one of us can go out into the world and drop the mask, drop the coolness, drop the trying to protect yourself. Maybe that worked for a time. It doesn't need to be you moving forward. We can decide to be more of the light. And that's just going to expand ourselves and our own experience of life. And it will also affect those around us. And we all know this world needs more light. So,
Absolutely. Thank you
alrighty.
for sharing yours.
Thank you for sharing yours. And thank you for this call. And thank you all for listening. And have an amazing day. And we'll see you next time.